Good afternoon, everyone. Today, Monday, is Erev Lag BaOmer, as Tuesday is the holiday of Lag BaOmer. We talked a little bit about the impact of Lag BaOmer in our days, especially when you're connecting to the story of Rabbi Akiva. Today, I would like to talk more about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was one of the 5 surviving students of Rabbi Akiva, and he was a great sage in his own right and a leader in the Jewish community, and authored many laws that are still studied until today in the Mishnah. In addition to that, the Sefer of the Zohar, the book of the Zohar, which is one of the earliest books on Kabbalah, is attributed to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a very unique individual. Even though he was a soul in a body, but he was able to transcend everything in this physical world and see it how it is in its spiritual source. And he was so unfazed by the mightiness of the Romans that he actually criticized them because he felt that they were doing it for self-aggrandization, and they had no humble spirit. And that was the reason why the Romans decreed that he should be put to death. So the Gemara in Shabbos says, in the Tractate of Shabbat, says that Rabbi Shimon and his son hid in a cave for 12 years, and they survived on carob from a tree that was growing right outside the cave, and they also drank spring water that was running through the cave. When the Caesar died, the Roman emperor died, Elijah the prophet came to the entrance of the cave to reveal to them that the decrees are gone, and they came out again. But they weren't ready to adjust to the world after being in the cave for 12 years studying Torah. So they had to go in for another 12 months to readjust themselves to the Torah, to the world according to the Torah. In other words, to see that everything in the world had value. In fact, the Gemara says that they saw a man running, and he was running with 2 bushels or 2 myrtles, and he asked him, "What are you running with these myrtles?" And he said, "I'm running with them for the Shabbat, in honor of Shabbat." They asked him, "What do you have 2?" And he said, "Because in the 10 Commandments we find about Shabbat one expression of remember the Shabbat to keep it holy, and the other one is to observe the Shabbat to keep it holy. So I have one for each of these expressions." And they turned to each other, and they became very soothed and calm by the fact that the Jewish people have such a love for Shabbat. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was able to teach the inner aspects of Torah on the deepest level, and he lived that life that way. So why is Lag BaOmer a special day? Because this is the anniversary of his passing. And as the Talmud says, that on the day of his passing, he assembled his students to come to his home, and he was in bed, not feeling well, but his face was radiant. And he said that I will reveal to you today the most mystical secrets that I have never revealed before. And as he began to teach them the inner aspects of the Torah, a heavenly celestial flame came down and danced around his bed and shielded him from his students. And when he came to the word Chaim, which is life, that's when his soul departed with the flame up into heaven. And he declared, and before he passed away, he asked that this should be a day of joy. And in fact, there was a heavenly voice that reverberated throughout the world that said, "Peace unto Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai as he leaves this world and goes into his eternal repose, into his eternal rest." So why is this such a joyous day? Because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai lived a life where the soul was evident in the body, and the body was recognized for its true value, and that is that it is merely a garment to the soul, that the soul should be able to do the mitzvot, the physical mitzvot, and to be involved in the material study of Torah, that it can only do so through the body. But the body itself has no value compared to the value of the soul. And when his soul was able to finish its mission on earth and transcend from the body into its true area of the light, of spiritual delight, it was a cause of tremendous joy. because death in Judaism is not the end of existence. It's just a transformation from one kind of existence, which is a more corporal, material existence, to a spiritual and divine higher level of existence. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai did not see his death as an end, but actually as a new beginning. And because his soul was now able to soar all the way up to the presence of Hashem and to absorb deeper radiant light that was blocked from him because of his body, it was a cause for joy and immense joy. And that is why that is the second reason, in addition to what we discussed yesterday, why Lag BaOmer has permanently become a special holiday. Now in Israel, they have a tradition every year of having bonfires and celebrating around the bonfires. And the reason that they have the bonfires is to replicate that light that engulfed Rabbi Shimon's soul as his soul ascended to heaven. Just as a footnote, this year the Israeli government has banned any of the bonfires, but the joy is still there. For us, Lag BaOmer is a day that we reflect on the joy of the soul, and it teaches us, especially those that are in a state of mourning, and that we mourn the loss of our loved ones, and we recognize that it's more our sadness than the sadness of the soul, because the soul has now gone to a higher level in its existence and is journeying upwards. It needs us to be able to do mitzvahs on its behalf, but the soul itself is in a very joyous and happy place. It's us, the survivors, who feel saddened by the departure, and we miss and long for them in a physical sense. And that's why the Rebbe taught us that if we do mitzvahs and study Torah and connect with them spiritually, we have actually never severed the connection, but rather the connection is actually very close. And as the Rebbe told someone who had lost a child, that he said to him, if you knew that your child went to a destination where he is very safe and he is taken care of and he's very happy, the only thing is that you can't communicate with him, would you be happy for your child, for the soul of your child? And he said, absolutely yes. And he said, if you would send a care package to your child, what would you send a care package? And the person said, of course. So he says, this is exactly the story, that the soul of the departed is in a better place, in a higher place, and is very well taken care of, and is very happy. It's only that the souls cannot communicate with us, but you can send care packages, and the care packages you send are the good deeds, the mitzvahs, the Torah that you study, and when the minyan it resumes to say Kaddish, and all the other wonderful good things that we do in honor of the soul. And that really gives comfort and love to the neshama. May Hashem help that all of our hearts should be healed, and we should be able to rejoice with the ultimate joy of the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu, when all of us will be gathered again in the Holy Land of Israel with the passion in our hearts, the flame of Judaism burning brightly, and seeing the smiles on all the faces. Have a happy Lag BaOmer.